Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we're going to be talking about a certain NFL wide receiver that seems to be wasting their career in a certain team in a certain city. This city just happens to be the city that the most recent championship they had was with LeBron James. Yes, we're going to be talking about Mr. Odell Beckham Jr., otherwise known as OBJ. Now, when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., of course, as we all know, he became famous when he was at the New York Giants, but then the New York Giants signed him to a new deal and traded him a year later, and that was probably one of the weirdest things to see. Odell was probably not happy. I mean, the reason the Giants got rid of Odell is because he was doing a lot of, having tantrums on the sidelines. He only had one playoff game, and he didn't even perform well in that playoff game. And now when it comes to him being at Cleveland, he's actually the number one guy there. Even though when Baker Mayfield doesn't target him, Baker Mayfield tends to throw the ball away. And some of the times it ends up being a pick. But, yeah. So when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., if he does eventually leave Cleveland, which two teams do I see Odell Beckham Jr. possibly going to? Well, to me, there's two viable options when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr. going to a team, and that is New England and Green Bay. The reason why I think New England and Green Bay are two top teams is because they're teams that definitely need a number one wide receiver, and with this number one wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. would definitely be the number one target of the quarterbacks there. Well, New England Patriots do need a number one quarterback, Green Bay not as much. But when it comes to New England, to be honest, Odell probably a very good fit because him learning under Bill Belichick would probably just mature him as a person. Bill Belichick is the guy that doesn't take any nonsense, just ask Tom Brady. He's the guy that, that will mold you into a mature, more man. Look at Tom Brady, to be honest. Tom Brady's gotten a lot more mature thanks to Bill Belichick and being in that Bill Belichick team. And not only that, Odell Beckham Jr. will be able to play with a fellow African-American quarterback in Cam Newton, and he would be Cam Newton's number one target. And if Cam can't run the ball, Cam's going to be trying to throw it to Odell Beckham Jr. And it's rare that Cam Newton actually throws a pick like Baker Mayfield has in the past couple of games. And the thing is, the Browns are 4-2, and most of the Browns team is still complaining over the fact that, they say some of the head coaching can't do it. They say if they're complaining, that means they just don't believe in Baker Mayfield. And that means they want Baker Mayfield probably at least benched, or I'd probably say benched right now for a different quarterback. But considering the fact that Odell's 27, 28, this means that he's going to have to eventually move on before he gets into his 30 years old, because that's when he's going to have to perform at his best. When he hits 30, 31, that's going to be, technically he's entering the prime of his career right now, considering he's been in the NFL for about a good 4 or 5 years now. And he's only had, I'd probably say 1 or 2 actually good seasons. So, yeah, when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., I see him going to the New England Patriots and the Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers and why I think Odell will be a very good option there. It's technically like the Cleveland situation. If Odell were to go to Green Bay, he would be paired up with the number one, another very good wide receiver in Davante Adams. But in this case, I think Davante Adams is actually a better wide receiver than Jarvis Landry, and a lot of people would probably agree with me. If Davante Adams is staying healthy, Davante Adams is definitely 100% better than Jarvis Landry, and this would be a better situation for Odell because he has a proven winner in the quarterback. He has a proven Super Bowl champion, even though he had a proven Super Bowl champion in Eli Manning. But Aaron Rodgers is one of the most gifted throwers in the NFL. He is way better. He's on another level than Eli Manning. So this would be the perfect situation for Odell. He would be playing with a very mature quarterback. He'd be playing with the team that's ready to win right now, and he would begin a lot of catches, considering he'd be there with Davante Adams. And if they have Davante Adams guarded, Odell's going to get the ball. And if Odell is going to be guarded, Davante Adams would get the ball. And that's how things would go. So yeah, when it comes to Green Bay, I'd probably say Green Bay is the most likely option for Odell if he were to leave, because because that'd be a very, very winning situation. I mean, technically, if you guys think about it, technically also Seattle's involved because they've been talking about Antonio Brown. So why not Seattle go trade for Odell Beckham Jr.? But Seattle don't really need Odell Beckham Jr. because Seattle have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So there's no reason for them to go for Odell to go to that team, especially for Seattle to lose probably a first or second round pick for Odell Beckham Jr. When they already have two good wide receivers there. And when it comes to the Patriots, like I said before, but I'm going to talk about it a bit more. Odell Beckham Jr. would even though the New England Patriots don't seem like they're ready to win right now, I mean, things could change. Cam Newton could play out his mind for the rest of the season if he had a number one wide receiver, and the Patriots could actually be a very good shot at making it to the playoffs and having a very good shot at becoming AFC conference champions or going into AFC championship game against its Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens. So if you guys want my honest opinion when it comes to the New England thing, I feel like Odell, even though I would love to see Odell in the Green Bay Packers uniform, Odell's perfect situation right now. If he wants a perfect situation, if he wants to be a number one wide receiver, work with the experienced quarterback, one that has been to the Super Bowl, one that is fellow African American, one that you be playing under a very good head coach, and Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick is a proven head coach winner, and that's probably what Odell wants. He wants a proven head coach winner and a proven quarterback that can throw the ball and be good with the ball. So that's why I think Odell's perfect situation is waiting for him in New England. And I think Odell Beckham Jr. will eventually be a New England Patriot, because imagine Odell Beckham Jr. wearing that number 13 for New England, playing under Bill Belichick. That offense, especially considering the fact that Bill Belichick knows really well how to draft he doesn't really know how to draft wide receivers, but he can develop wide receivers into absolute targets. So imagine that. Imagine you had number one wide receiver as OBJ and number two wide receiver as N'Keal Harry. That would be a decent line, considering the fact that N'Keal Harry's was a rookie last year and needs continuous development. Alongside with OBJ, if OBJ were to learn under Bill Belichick and mature under Bill Belichick, he would be able to offer DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry some advice and help him grow as a wide receiver and as a player to the point where he would become a very good number two wide receiver. And if they ever do move on from OBJ, he could be their number one wide receiver for the future. So yeah, if you want my honest opinion between Green Bay and New England for OBJ, I'd probably say he's a more likely option to go to New England, but Green Bay is going to be a very good option. I mean, there's a couple other teams I could talk about that have options or have the chance to actually get at OBJ, but yeah, when it comes to this, I don't really think there's anything else to say, but OBJ probably will be either New England Patriots or a Green Bay Packer, and that's going to be a very amazing thing to see, because I would love to see him in any other uniform, and I would love to see OBJ win, because OBJ is one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, so I would love to see him win. And if he goes to Green Bay or New England, he would have a better opportunity to win, I'd probably say, than in Cleveland or in when he was at the Giants. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.